Welcome to Tech Turks. Today I have Mustapha of Aspire Power Solutions. Aspire Power Solutions are all about using technology, data to bring down the cost of providing energy to you. Mustapha, thank you for coming on Tech Talks.
Thank you.
So tell us about this magic, especially in a country where the other day I read in the papers that the Senate have passed the first reading of a draft where they want to ban the importation and usage of generator. Isn't this an interesting country that we live in?
It's really an interesting country. For 50 plus years, Nigerians have had a terrible experience with energy. So really what Aspire is trying to do is to deliver a better energy experience.
I like that, better energy experience.
Actually, that's how we think of it.
But that is it, really.
Really, that's at the end of the day, the end customer, you, me, everyone just wants to know that when they get home, they flip the switch and power
Don't think
comes.
about it.
That's really what people
Yes.
want. At the end of the day, whether you're using solar, you're using a generator, you're using inverters, people just want to do it at the cheapest possible rate.
That's the slogan we have at Sparkle. What do you want to do? I just want to flip on the switch. I don't have to think about diesel. I don't want to think about if there's light. That experience.
Yeah, so in bringing that experience together as a company, we evolved from putting just solar panel and batteries as hybrid systems in people's home, but now we're offering a full suite service where for a number of companies and some homes, hospitals, we're taking the entire energy mix, but Aspire uses data to ensure that we can take the right blend of energy to deliver the experience.
Tell us, so before we go into plenty of questions, tell us why you started Aspire. I mean, what's the background? What is the story?
So for me, power is like one thing where you sort of think, somebody should fix this, but you also realize that you're somebody. I have two co-founders, and interestingly, we have different stories at different points in our lives that really made this important to us. So I think sometime when I was in SS2 or thereabout, I needed to have a surgery. That's one of the line items on the bill was actually 50 liters of diesel. So think about the fact that you could actually afford the cost of the surgery itself, but you needed to pay for diesel.
What a story.
To ensure that nothing happened during the surgery. And I think when I was also young, we had a neighbor who for some reason had solar panels way back, and it looked like everybody had their generators on, but this person just cruised along without any noise. So I started to think very deeply about energy even from university. While I started working, I started to think about a business that made impact but also made money. So I've spent about a number of years working in different organizations before going ahead.
Before taking that plunge into your own future,
Absolutely.
defining your own future.
Yeah.
So how does it work? I'm an individual and you've told me your story and I think, yes, I want a better energy experience. How do you help me achieve that?
Yeah, the way we sort of help customers achieve that is where possible, first we take in data clearly to understand their consumption patterns.
And how do you do that? I mean, that's actually very interesting. I'd like to know how much energy am I spending? What is the time of the day I'm spending the most?
Absolutely.
And how do I streamline that?
Yes, there's a typical graph that we've seen where in the mornings from about 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. or thereabout, it would spike. And then by the time people go to work between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., it would be much
in some homes,
lower.
It still stays high because the people in the house are still using it.
That's a very valid thing. We've had a situation where you actually put in a system based on X design, then the homeowner employs a maid who fires on everything through the course of the day, ACs and all of that, and then you start seeing it on the system. So, but we typically put in data loggers into the electrical systems of the home, and it can. We typically will do these over a 7-day period so that you get a sense of what's happening during weekdays and on the weekend. And based on that data, you then design a system that meets the needs of the home.
Time of installation. So from the minute I engage you, I'm interested. I have a 4-bedroom house sitting on 800 square meters, for example. How long will it take for you to come in, analyze, diagnose, install, and I'm ready to go?
For residential homes, we can start a conversation and have a system installed in as little as 3 to 10 days, depending on the size of the system. For commercial locations, it can take about 2 weeks. Let me use a 4-bedroom type style home. One thing we've also done, because we've done X number of systems, we actually have a sense of the energy consumption of different home types. If you tell me about a 4-bedroom that has 5 people living in it, I likely have a sense what they consume. So we can start with that base quote system size for you, and then we can go back and forth depending on whether we need to get anything done. But actual installation of that home could be about 2 days. That's the actual installation now, getting the solar panels in, putting the inverters, combining it with your generator. For a number of commercial sites which we operate, we actually have the ability to remotely turn on or off the generator from anywhere. Yeah, and then at the end of the month, we're able to show the customer a report that shows, for instance, how much grid power you've had during the month, how many hours we used the generator for, and how much solar backup actually came in. But our system is already optimized to ensure that the most efficient source is powering the home or the office based on the load level or based on the parameters we've quoted. The other thing I'll just add is that the bulk of our systems can actually be remotely monitored. Technology enables this, but I can sit here and look at a system in Abuja and understand how much energy is being consumed. Is the solar generating as much as it should? Is the generator coming on when it should? We've actually built and growing an operations center in the back end where we have people taking a look at these things across the different sites.
And my question to you on that is, as an individual of a 4-bedroom house, can you give me the ability to turn on, turn off myself, or do I have to rely on you?
No, we can give you the ability. Control actually matters for the end user. So we can give you the ability to turn on or off at will, because we have situations where we actually own the assets and customer just pays a monthly service.
Okay, yes, I get it. So
then
energy as a service.
Power as a service.
Power as a service. And when they don't pay, you just turn off the light.
Yes, but if you fully own the assets and all of that, you definitely have control over that.
Final question: a year or two from now, what are Aspire's objectives without, letting out big secrets?
I think the big things we're really doing is continuing to grow assets under management, which for us is a driver of recovery.
So how are you funding this? I mean, do you have investors? Are people interested in what you're doing, especially when you're actually bordering on social impact and how you're reducing, carbon footprint in Nigeria?
We have certain customers who care about climate change, who care about noise pollution, who care about all of that. That education is continuing to increase. Increase that pool. We've had some family and friends investors who supported us from the very early days. We got back on the road and I put in money, but we actually get customers to pay a deposit up front and then spread the payments over time.
Mustapha, thank you very much for coming on Tech Talks. It's been great, and we will continue the conversation offline.